president of the WHREA. The faculty and staff care a great deal about the students of the school and the community that has raised them. Many of us have dedicated our lives towards the education and success of their future. Every year, our faculty and staff sacrifice their time, energy, and personal resources towards making this school one of the best high schools in the state. And we know that we make a positive difference in the lives of our students every day. Throughout the COVID-19 crisis, as essential workers, it fell on our shoulders to figure out how to make virtual learning work. And it was because of our sacrifices of the faculty and staff that Watchung Hills was able to reopen for the 2020-2021 school year. Our health and buildings and grounds departments were inundated with more work and demanding hours than they've ever seen at Watchung Hills. Our counselors worked tirelessly to support students' mindfulness in the wake of the emotional toll of the pandemic. The faculty and staff sacrificed throughout that year, often without adequate training and with incomplete guidance, and many felt vulnerable in the classroom and left behind. Negotiations for a new contract began over a year ago, but were stymied by the Board of Education's unprecedented action in filing an unfair labor practice against the WHREA. The board filed this ULP 1 year ago because the WHREA negotiates with our bargaining council in negotiation meetings. This allows each association member to understand the different proposals on the table and have input in negotiation meetings that will determine their working conditions. During the 2019 negotiations, the board negotiated with our bargaining council in the room. Our members were respectful, silent, and productive. And their contributions came in the form of written notes and independent caucusing when the board was not in the room, which was invaluable to the process. In fact, negotiating with our bargaining council resulted in the fastest resolution of the negotiations process in our district. The board claims that our bargaining council is about intimidating board members, and it is upsetting to think that board members consider our teachers, our aides, our counselors, our staff to be intimidating. Our primary concern is ensuring that every voice is heard and accounted for when negotiating the working conditions of this district. We have offered a wide array of compromises to the bargaining council in order to accommodate the board members. We offered putting a cap on the number of members in the bargaining council, what meetings the bargaining council could attend or not attend, whether they were in the negotiations room or whether they were attending virtually. And at every compromise the WHREA offered, the board said no. Actions speak louder than words. And while we offered compromise, the board filed an unfair labor practice, effectively shutting down negotiations. Without a new contract in September, the faculty and staff had their salaries frozen at the previous contract levels. And this was made all the more painful by record-breaking inflation not seen in over 40 years. The WHREA asked the board for relief for the faculty and staff by initiating a practice known as dynamic status quo. This would allow the faculty and staff salaries to move to the next level according to the last contract. This would represent an act of good faith by the district in solidarity with the faculty and staff with such high inflation while we wait for the board's ULP to be resolved. But the board refused. We started this academic year with the morale of our faculty and staff at an all-time low point in the 14 years that I've worked here. It breaks my heart to see many colleagues and friends speak about being burnt out by ever-increasing workloads, thinking about retirement earlier than they ever thought that they would have to, and realizing the disappointment that the board does not value their work. We know that the parents of this community value the important work that the faculty and staff do at Watchung Hills. And we know that the parents value transparency and that every voice matters. We know that the parents wish for the board to negotiate with the WHREA in earnest. We have the right to select who can serve on our negotiations team. And at a time when the education profession needs all stakeholders working together now more than ever, we continue to remain steadfast in our desire to resolve and negotiate this contract with the board, but we will not compromise our rights under the law to do so. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.